What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here at a topless international speedway as we are using the Nissan R32 GTR for our Nations Cup race, as that was the only car that was eligible for all of us here at our Nations Cup race. And you can see that we are in a top split lobby, as I believe not a lot of people decided to participate in this race, which was kind of a shame because it was so much fun to be racing around this track with these cars, as these cars are just so great on speed and kind of on handling, at least better than some other cars. I know a lot of people were having issues with the Ferrari 458 on the daily races last week, but yeah, this car is really fun to drive, especially with the racing tires. It just grips really well on the track for a stock car, and honestly, you guys are gonna be able to see right now how much fun we had when we drove the GTRs around a topless. So before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into this race. Now, as we jump into the race, we were able to get a 10th position qualifying lap as we come out of the final corner now, going down the straightaway, leading us into turn number 1. We have to brake very early, as we do not want to run into the car ahead of us, as we actually get punted out from behind, and that is race over. Now, as we come into the real race here, we are starting in 7th place, as right now we are in our qualifying lap, and we get a 4th place with a 154.031. We wait till the end of the qualifying, as I couldn't get a better lap than that. I tried going out again and just redoing these laps over and over, but unfortunately I couldn't get anything better than a 154.003. And right now the pole position was a 153, and luckily that was able to get us a 6th position as we now jump into the real race here as we get our 3-2-1. So getting our 3-2-1, we get our go now. So we're right behind PX7 Grove, get into the slipstream here, and again follow him, try to brake as early as we can so we avoid making contact with him, but we accidentally run into the grass, get very loose as we come into turn number 1, but we're able to save it as we go all single file into turn number 1 and just follow PX7 Grove as we head into turn 2 and 3. So coming to turn number 3, we're gonna brake again early so that we can avoid making contact with the car ahead, as third and fourth are making a little bit of fighting there, as they are trying to just get around each other. And we have someone in our radar here, as we're just trying to stay with these guys ahead of us, as these guys ahead of us are people that actually race in the top split and actually go to the FIA World Cup, so or World Championship. So if we could stay with them at least for a few laps here, I mean, that's gonna bring up my confidence in this game, as again, these guys are really fast. So we're gonna see what we can do here when we come into the race. So as we come into the middle part of lap number 2, we are staying right behind PX7 Grove as he goes very loose, gets into the grass, and you can see how much that slows him down, as we are now catching up to him, heading to the hairpin. We brake as late as we can as we head into the hairpin, but unfortunately we weren't close enough to get any type of move here, as if we were trying to make a move, it would have been very desperate of a lunge. But you can see he's still getting squirrely coming out of that corner, and I think he's just shifting left and right to get some heat into the tires, as he might be losing tire wear here, or just the tires might be cold, as we are just staying right behind him now on the back bumper as we head into the end of lap number 2. So coming to this left-hander here, again, we're just getting closer and closer to him, chipping away from his I guess lead from us, and you can see how much time we've actually gained on him, as we are almost to his back bumper here, and maybe we could try to get close enough to make an overtake on him, but we actually go very wide coming out of that left-hander. You can see how much time it costs us as we now jump into lap number 4. So jumping into lap number 4, we're getting pressure now from 7th place as our mediums are starting to wear out. The strategy here was really interesting, as there was only mediums and hard tires that were given to us, and the required tires that we had to use was the hard compound. So we were going to use the mediums all the way up until lap number 7, as they did wear out pretty fast, but we're going to use it till lap 7, go into lap number 14 again, and then shift onto the hards as we get a little bit wide going to that corner. So coming to the right-hander, we actually get punted out from the car behind, and we are now in the grass as we lose 4 positions now as we jump into the replay. You can see we get a little bit wide coming to the left-hander, and you can see the GTR right behind us misses breaking point, punts us straight out, and luckily for us, he stayed, you know, on the bottom, just slowed down, and was able to allow us to get back into the spot, as that was a really good move on his part, but just sucked that we got hit and got rammed out twice in 2 races. So coming to the first corner, there's a car that goes out very wide, as he is now in the gravel trap, and it's one of the Canadians, as we were able to get around him here. And jumping into the replay, we see here that it was all to his own himself doing is he just goes straight into the gravel trap and just decided to brake very, very late. Not sure exactly what happened, if he just got distracted with the cars behind him or he just completely forgot where his braking point was at. But that's going to be an easy position for us. We're going to take it. We're going to capitalize on that, as we are now in 9th place, jumping onto lap number 6. So coming to the hairpin, everybody misses their braking point going into this corner, as you can see how wide they got, but luckily we were able to get it woed down, and so were they. That we didn't go straight into the grass is not sure why we all missed our braking points. I think it was kind of a monkey see, monkey do, as one of the cars braked very, very late, and then everybody decided to brake very, very late and just use their tail light as a reference point. But you can see right here that they're still beating and banging at 7th and 8th place. The Canadians are not being friendly to each other, as they are making a lot of contact with each other, just trying to get through the 3rd sector here, navigate their way without taking each other out. But they're doing a lot of being banging as we go into the back of the Canadian GTP Gooners, and we lose a little bit of safety rating points, so we're just trying to get around him, as I think his tires are gone now, as we're heading to the inside. Give him a little bit of a shunt there as we're going side by side now. Coming out of the corner, we get a little bit loose, and he's actually trying to get into the pits, so he makes contact with the car behind, and you can see that he's able to get into the pits there. And we are able to promote ourselves into 7th place, as there was a car ahead of us that came into the pits. So he's going to be on fresh mediums, and that's going to be very interesting on us, as the car behind us and us are on old mediums. And you can see already, not even 3 corners in, the car that came out of the pits was able to just catch up to us and get around us easily, as we just give him the spot on the inside, as we don't want to fight with him and lose more time on the race. And we're just going to follow right behind him, stay in the slipstream, and see if he can pull us up a little further into the pack, as we're going to come into the pits on this lap. So jumping to the end of the lap here, we're coming to the pits as one of the Canadians ahead of us is coming in too. He makes a little bit of contact with the wall, but he doesn't get a penalty or anything like that, so he got lucky there. As we come out of the pit stop now, I almost said picker, I don't know why. We come out of the pit stop now. We're going to turn number 1. We are all the way down in 4th place, as 13 and 12th get half a second penalty, so that's going to benefit us as we come into the penalty zone. Heading to the left-hander, we're just waiting to get to the penalty zone. As we're getting closer and closer to it, we're going to try to push as much as we can to catch up to 13 and 12 to take advantage of it, but let's see if we're going to be able to get close enough as we are coming to the hairpin. So coming to the hairpin, they're getting blocked in by 11th and 10th, as I think 11th and 10th still haven't came into the pits, so that's benefiting us here as they come into the penalty zone here. Both of them have to slow down here as we're trying to make a move onto the outside, but you can see 13th just squeezes his way in, and he takes out 12th position on a desperate lunge right there. We're able to easily get 2 positions there off of 1 corner. Very, very fortunate for us, as we are now setting our sights on 11th and 10th, as they're starting to pull away from us a little bit because of all the incidents that happened right there in that corner. But we're now starting to catch up and use our brand new tires to catch up to them, as one of them came into the pits now as we jump into lap number 9. So coming out of turn number 1, heading into turn number 2 and 3, we're staying right behind the Canadian right ahead of us. As you can see, there's still a gaggle of cars ahead of us, and they're just fighting for positions now as we are heading to turn number 3. Staying on the left-hand side, but we're going to shift it to the right. I want to see if we can get a good entrance to get a great exit coming out of here, as we're able to do that, cut into the inside of the Canadian right behind us, and now we are promoted into 9th place as we're keeping on to the outside, try to get a good exit here, and we are going side by side now as we're heading to the left-hander. So side by side action now happening as we head into the sweeping left-hander. We're able to hold it on the inside and get the position done, as we now set our sights on the 8th and 7th place drivers. 7th and 8th are still fighting with each other, as they're now almost beating and banging, because he's 7th shifting onto the inside, try to defend his position, and 8th place has to brake very, very early, and luckily we didn't make contact with the back of him, but until we get into the middle of the corner, we have to make contact with him, as we did get punched from behind. So kind of like a bottled effect there, as you can see we're staying right behind 8th and 7th and just seeing what's going to play out here, as 8th and 7th have been racing really, really hard with each other. So if they take each other out, again, that's going to be easy for us to get up to 7th, and just try to use these new fresh medium tires to just run away with at least a good gap from 9th place on back, and then see if we can try to make some time up to catch up to 6th place, as that is where we started at. So if we can finish at 6 or better, that would be ideal, but you can see that we're just still getting held up by 8th and 7th places. We're heading now into the final sector. Coming to the right-hander, we're going side by side here as we're going onto the inside. Make a little bit of contact with him as he tries to squeeze us down. And now we're going side by side coming out of the corners. Both of them are going to come into the pits, but that actually allows 8th place to get around us. And you can see now the skyline ahead of us is able to get around us and get into 6th place as we get demoted into 7th place. Brake as early as we can to try to avoid making contact with him, but you can see he goes very, very wide heading to turn number 1. But in doing so, we're on the inside now as we're trying to make a move onto the inside, heading to turn number 3. Coming to turn number 3, we're on the inside, going side by side as we head into turn number 3. We're going to keep it onto the inside, but it's going to lead us into the outside. When we go into turn number 4 and 5, we're able to hold our position here as we cut into the inside, block 8th place, and now we are demoted back into 7th place as the Canadian ahead of us was able to get around us, as we are just looking for any type of gap to get around him, but unfortunately we were unable to, and we fall right back in line in 7th place as we go into lap number 11. So coming into lap number 11, we head into the first corner. You can see that the Canadian behind us makes a desperate lunge, and he's able to make an easy overtake on us as he kind of makes contact with us, pushes us out of the way, and gets 7th place away from us as we are now defending ourselves from 9th place. But luckily we're able to do so here as we head into the final sector. So as we jump into the final sector, we're staying right behind the Canadian as we're looking onto the inside, but we think twice, back out of there, and try to see if we can find another position where we can at least attempt an overtake. If not, you know, just follow him, see if we can stay right behind him, and see if him and 6th place make any more contact, as they did make contact already in the earlier stages of the race and take each other out. So hopefully that can happen again, but we'll see what happens. That they are still racing pretty hard with each other, as we do have about 4 or 5 laps left in this race. So coming out of the final 2 corners, we're making a little bit of contact with the Canadians. We run into his back bumper, staying in the slipstream here as we head into turn number 1. He goes into the inside, but we try to brake as late as we can, and we actually really brake late as we make contact with the 6th place driver. We make contact with him and the 7th place driver. We slowed down as we made a huge mistake there, just braked way too late. But you can see that 8th place gets a 1-second penalty, and we're gonna lose 2 positions there because of that move that I tried doing. And you can see that 8th and 7th now both have a 1-second penalty. And that's going to be great for us, because when we get to the penalty zone, we're going to be able to get around them. But again, just sucks that, you know, I missed that overtaking opportunity as I did break it really, really late. I think I got the car woe down, but I believe 6th place was not expecting me to go to the inside there. So when he came into the inside, we made contact, and that just jumbled everything up now as we're heading to the left-hander. So coming to the left-hander, we're still fighting side by side with 8th place. As you can see, 7th is trying to go all over the place to get around 6th place. And we're staying on the inside, or the outside now as we head into the hairpin. Going on the outside, we're looking at the 9th place driver, and he actually backs out of the move there. So that gives us the position as we make a great overtake now. Go into 7th place because of the penalty, and we're able to just stay right here as we now set our sights on the Canadian ahead of us and see if we can get around him now as we're jumping into lap number 13. So coming out of the final corner now, that's going to lead us into lap number 13. We get on his back bumper again as we just get really good runs, but we get stalled out because the cars behind us or ahead of us, and he actually comes into the pits. So that's going to be an easy overtake for us as we now come into the final 2 laps and head into the pit stop. So coming to the pit stop, we switch off our second set of mediums for a last set of hards, and we actually come out of pits in 10th place, which is really, really interesting, because I thought I calculated the strategy well, but unfortunately it looks like we picked the wrong strategy, as we are now demoted all the way into 11th place and have to fight with DNA Jetica to try to get 10th place and see if we can finish in at least an okay spot, since it looks like 6th place is going to be out of the realm of possibilities here. But we have a yellow flag ahead of us, so not sure exactly what happened, as we're just waiting to see if where's the car that caused the incident. But the yellow flag goes away, so we're now going to still continue fighting with 10th places. We're going to try to get around him here, since we do have good tires and brand new tires, but unfortunately they are the hards, not the mediums. So not sure if he's on the mediums or the hards. If he's on the mediums, then it's going to be really, really difficult to get around him. But if he's on the hards just like us, and he came in like the lap previous, then it might be easy for us. As you can see, he's getting very, very loose coming to the right-hander. Going to the hairpin for the final time, we keep it onto the outside. We just send it there as we are staying on the outside here, going side by side as we come out of the hairpin, and we're able to get a great run coming out of the hairpin, and we are able to pull away from him now as we get an easy overtake on 10th place. And now we're going to try to hold off our position now, as we just have a few more corners to go, and then we should be able to finish this race in 10th place since we are on the final lap. So heading to the sweeping right-hander, we're able to hold our position, as all we have to do is just cover our insides, and we are able to do so and finish this race in 10th place after starting in 6th. So we weren't able to get our goal of finishing in 6th or better, but I mean, I'll have to take it for a 10th place since a lot of things did happen in this race. And again, I think I just messed up the strategy. Maybe I should have started on the mediums and then switch off to the hards and then go on to the mediums for the last stint. But I guess we just got it wrong, as some other cars did that, and they were able to get an undercut on us and just run away with a great finish, as we were able to at least finish in 10th place on a top blue lobby. So that's really, really cool. But yeah, a really fun race. Again, these cars are really, really great around this track, as you can get really good side-by-side racing and good pack racing, because it's a really fast car, but it also has some great handling compared to other cars that are just stock and are not race cars, like the Group 3s or the Group 2s or the Group 1s. So like I said, it's just a really fun track, and I'm really happy that I was able to do this Nations race with these guys. So if you guys found this video very entertaining, please subscribe again to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And again, if you guys found this video interesting, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.